So it's not many times that you see this where a top end draft pick, especially the best pick at his said position, tells the media where he wants to go, right? It doesn't happen often. Sometimes it does, very rarely, it is what it is. Well, Brock Bowers said exactly where he wanted to go, and to our dismay, it sadly is not Cincinnati Bengals. But there is a connection with the Bengals to this said team because he was very blunt, very honest that he wanted to go to none other than the Tennessee Titans. As Chris Sims says on Twitter, usually players are tight-lipped on this question, but we asked Brock Bowers who he wants to play for, and he said Tennessee. Now, obviously, why is there a connection between us and Tennessee? Well, it's because our old OC is now their head coach, Brian Callahan. So Brian Callahan now is, taking over reins there. He's also taking over the offense coordinator job there. So this would all fall into place and be a big reason why Brock Bowers probably wants to go there. I would assume, yes, he does want to play Will Levis, and, Will Levis obviously young, going to develop, going to get better as time goes on, and going to really blossom into a young star. Last year, he showed a couple of things last year. He showed that he's one tough son of a gun, first off. The man will run into a brick wall. He showed he can be very good at throwing the ball, and he, if done correctly, can develop into a pretty good, if not superstar type quarterback. So, listen, it is what it is, right? Now, Tennessee has the 7th overall pick, so we're sitting at, the 18th. Chances are we weren't going to get him anyway, right? It's just probably not going to happen. Now, there is still a chance that he gets taken before the 7th overall pick. I've seen him go all the way down to the Chargers pick, right? So there's a lot of different options for a lot of different teams to be able to maybe finesse and get him earlier than that. But again, like I said, it makes perfect sense. First off, you look at Tennessee, other than Josh Wiley, and they have one other guy, he would be the starting tight end on this roster, right? So it wouldn't be like a tight end by competition or by committee. It would be him. You also got a young quarterback, and what do young quarterbacks love to do more than anything? They love check down options and to throw it to their tight ends. So you're going to have now plenty of receptions, plenty of targets for Brock Bowers. He's playing in Brian Callahan's system, which, if you remember, Hayden Hurst was very successful, and even this year was very successful with Tanner Hudson. His system turned Tanner Hudson, and I'm not trying to take anything away from Tanner Hudson here, because Tanner Hudson's amazing, but he turned the Tanner Hudson from a practice squad tight end to, in reality-wise, could be a solid tight end 3, tight end 2 for a majority of teams in the NFL. I think a lot of people are undervaluing how good Tanner Hudson was this year. I know he might not put up the craziest stats and the craziest numbers, but he was so consistent, got open, made key plays on critical situations, and again, that's why I say you can't take away anything from him. And again, Brian Callahan's system was great, but it schemed him open. And now you have a completely different environment, right, in Tennessee here. You have a rookie quarterback who's going to be targeting the tight end plenty. You got a system offense where really it focuses on more of the run game. But next year, without Derrick Henry and Tajay Spears in the backfield, you might see a complete opposite angle. And Tennessee has money, so they might go out there and get someone like Austin Eckler and have Austin Eckler in the backfield with him. You got D-Hops on one side. You got Burks on the other side, who's an absolute superstar in the making. Now you got Brock Bowers, Josh Wiley, or as you let me correct myself here and pull up their depth chart, because I know they actually do have another really good tight end. And I don't want to disrespect the other tight end they have. Because I know they have Josh Wiley, but then they have a starter who I know they've kind of gone a little bit away from certain players. Like they've gotten certain players, gotten rid of certain players. And it's kind of like a mix-max. But, alright, so I'm not going to disrespect the man's name. But, whew. Akonko. Yeah, as you know, wait, I think that's correct. Akonko. Akonko is their starter, I think. That's how you say his name. I'm not even going to try and butcher his first name, okay? Okonkwo, you got Wiley, and then obviously you would have Brock Bowers, who would be the starter. And then the receiving core, they got DeAndre Hopkins, who again, superstar still. Traylon Burks, young star in the making. He's 1 year guy, going to be a 2 year guy next year. Then you got Chris Moore, who is going to be gone. You know, that's not a big deal. He's old, right? He's 30 years old. But then outside of that, you got Westbrook, who I think is a really solid receiver, can, you know, blossom into a superstar. Then Tajay Spears, you got, do they still have Haskins? Who was the guy who on the Titans, like, he did something really, really bad toward his girlfriend? I don't think it was Haskins. I thought it was Haskins, but it might not be Haskins. Yeah, so then so on and so on, right? And then obviously you got Will Levis, you got Malik Willis. So, shout out to them. I mean, again, like I said, at the end of the day, shout out to them for, you know, having a player of Brock Bowers' caliber that wants to, you know, go play for them. And actually wants to be a part of their team. Because usually, again, like I said, you just don't see this often. Kyler Guyton was very clear he wanted to be a Bengal. Whether or not that actually happens, we'll have to wait and see. But at the end of the day, again, shout out to them. So, like, if we're looking at this realistically, right? So, the number 1 overall pick, I think, if they don't trade this away, right? They do not trade this away. I think this is pretty plain and simple. Caleb Williams. I think they take a quarterback, stick it and pick it. That's the smartest idea possible. Number 2 overall pick, I'd probably say Drake May. It might be someone completely different. I'll be honest with you. With these quarterbacks, it is so... You get the guy you like, right? And nobody knows for sure who likes what players, what quarterback a team's going to like or not, right? So, number 3, I think this is pretty obvious. You go quarterback, whoever the best quarterback available is. You go with Jaden Daniels or Drake May or whoever you want there. Number 4... I think that's Marvin Harrison Jr. I don't think that's a question to me. Number 5, though, this is what it is. This is where Brock Bowers could go. And Tennessee's sitting there at number 7 like, hey, listen, that's our guy. But at the same time, it's like, Giants could take him. No. Giants could take him 100%. I was going to say maybe not, but no, I think they will. Chargers could easily take him. Chargers is probably the pick that takes him. But Giants could take him. You could have another team trade up, right? It's always a possibility. So that's why, again, the Titans right now, I feel like, are sitting in the worst spot possible to get this guy. Because they could easily get jumped here by any team possible to trade up, but also the 2 teams in front of them. So, again, they could easily lose him to the Chargers here. And then, you know, so on and so on. But I think, if I'm being honest here, if I'm the Chargers... I gotta think, Chargers, what are their... I feel like their offensive line's a problem. I'm gonna go Joe Alt. Yeah, I almost sneezed for a second. Yeah, so like, let's say they go Joe Alt. I think that the, oh, it says their team needs right here. I'm an idiot. It says the team needs right here. Yeah, I couldn't think of the Chargers team needs for a second. I know they always need to work on the offensive line, though. We could go for this team. I'm gonna go Malik Neighbors. Number 7 here, Titans. Then you could get Brock Bowers. Falcons, I think they go a quarterback. Maybe not. I haven't done my full 32 mock draft, so if you're a fan of these teams, I apologize. I might be butchering what you're going to get. But I think this, for the most part, is pretty safe. I think this is, there's a chance, Brock Bowers. There's also a chance of other players here. And then Chicago Bears on the turnaround here. I wouldn't be against the idea of going wide receiver here. I know it's not a team need, but I wouldn't be against the idea here of going with wide receiver and giving, Caleb Williams a brand new wide receiver for your team and just trying to blossom from there. But guys, tell me down below your thoughts and opinions. Again, it sucks that he didn't want to play. He didn't list us as a team he wants to play for, but he was honest. And at the end of the day, that's just how the cookie crumbles. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.